You click this video because you are probably a nurse that is tired, you're burnt out, you're tired of the politics, patient care, you are desiring work-life balance, or maybe you are desiring just a change, you want to switch specialties. Well, this video is for you. Please stay tuned. Hi, my name is Courtney Noel and I'm a registered nurse, and I've been a registered nurse for 15 years, and I help burnt out bedside nurses transition into specialties such as utilization review and case management, most of the time remotely. And so this video was about how you can transition from bedside nursing to case management or utilization review by 2025. And this is part 3. So if you have not watched part 1 and part 2, I encourage you to do so. And if you have watched part 1 and part 2, let's get into it. So how can you transition from bedside nursing to a different specialty like utilization review and case management in 2025? This is part 3, and we are going to talk about interviewing. Let me tell you something. I sit on the interview panel, and baby, interviewing is a lost art. It is a skill that I think if you do not exercise that muscle enough, baby, you can lose it. Because I mean, I've interviewed some experienced nurses, and baby doll, it'd be like, well, what is going on here? Like those skills and that experience does not transfer into the interview. So I want to help you get to that part. So by this time you have worked on your mindset, you have revamped your resume, you've been applying, and now you are ready to have the interview. I mean, luckily for you, I do provide interview prep services, and let me tell you something. My girls that have been interviewed, baby, all of them have gotten offers. I can say that one to the bank. Anywho, but that's besides the point, because I still want you to succeed. I'm going to give you some tips from an interviewer to help you prepare for interviewing for positions like utilization review and case management. So I'm going to look at my notes. And first of all, I know this sounds so basic, but I cannot begin to tell you how the first couple of ones are basic, but they're not common, if that makes sense. Be on time. Please be on time to these people interview. Please do not go through the process of changing your mindset, revamping your resume, and they don't show up on time for the interview. Because honestly, that's saying that you don't respect my time, or you don't respect our time if we're a panel. And that, are you going to even respect this job's time? Because baby, you're trying to get a job. Be on time. Matter of fact, if I was you, I'd be early. If it's an in-person interview, I would say be about 15 minutes early. If it is a virtual interview, I would say be about 5 to 10 minutes early. It just shows respect and preparedness. It gives a good first impression. My second tip for when you're interviewing for these type of positions, please, 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 dress professionally. Put on some business casual clothes. Do not show up to these people interview in no scrubs. Please do not do that. To me, that's saying that you are one layered for me, one dimensional. Like, why didn't you put on some business professional clothing? Sweetheart, go to the thrift store. If you don't have it, sometimes you don't have it, but y'all nurses, y'all got money. Trust me, I know y'all. But if you don't, sometimes, you know, we fall into hard times. I get it. Go to the thrift store. Get you a nice button down and some nice slacks that fit you nice. Take it to the cleaners if you can afford it, or if not, wash it and iron it to make it look really good. It doesn't cost that much. You should keep at least one interview outfit in the tuck, because it speaks to you. It lets people know that you're versatile, that you can really put on your business professional and show up as a professional, because that is what you are. You are a licensed professional, and though sometimes you carry out your task in scrubs, in this setting, you knew how to read the room and put on your business professional clothing and show up and show out for the interview. So please, 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 please dress professional, business casual. It really says something. I know it sounds basic, but just because it sounds basic, like they say, common sense ain't always common. That goes for this too. Okay, so our next tip. My next tip is, if you have a lot of interviews are being done virtually. if you have a virtual interview, please, 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 they should send you the link the night before. Run the link. Make sure that you don't have any technical difficulties, that you can log on, that you can get into the link and your audio works, your video works, your name is displayed appropriately. Because trust me, it is like, it gives off, okay, why didn't you prepare? If we're starting the interview and you moving the camera, you can't cut on the sound. And don't get me wrong, technical difficulties happen and nobody's judging if that's the case. But if there is something that is just everything's going wrong, you can't get it to work, it screams that you didn't even click the link prior to. You were not prepared, okay? So I would say, again, test the link out. And if you're showing up for a virtual interview, I would say be there 5 to 10 minutes early the day of, just to make sure that even though you checked it the night before, there are no technical difficulties the actual day of your interview. So yes, try the link out. All right, and my last tip, I know these seem common, but they're not. This is a more technical, or a more, yeah, I would say a more technical tip, is that you need to come with scenarios. So a lot of times I've noticed that nurses can be nervous, and you know, they really want the position bad, and it comes through at times as nervousness or just a little bit of anxiety, which is common. We're human. That's a common thing. But what I think is that you need to be prepared with scenarios that you can speak to, that shows your capability to problem solve, to prioritize, to be a team player, to be flexible, to learn. So just come up with some scenarios. That way, if they ask you specific questions, you can speak to those, speak to your qualities, and also provide examples. And it also gives you like a comfort. If you already know you have some things that you can say, it makes you feel more prepared, and you're able to actually perform or show up. Let me not say perform. Show up in the interview as your full self. And sometimes it requires prepping. Like, this is a tip. It's okay to prep for an interview. It's okay to look at yourself in the mirror and talk to yourself and ask your questions. I'm sure there's plenty videos out here that can speak to that. I mean, it is okay to be very prepared and do what you have to do, because remember, these jobs are high stakes. I'm not gonna lie, utilization review jobs right now are hard to come by, and the competition is fierce. So you want to put yourself in the best position to get that job. So if you have to practice in the mirror, if you have to run some scripts, if you have to, I don't know, watch some videos, if you have to do a mock interview, that's what you have to do. And like I said, I'm here to help. If you need some help with interview prep, my information will be in the description box below. But most importantly, if you take these tips and you do your own research on just basic interview skills across the internet, you should be well enough prepared to show up as your full self in an interview for a utilization review or case managed position. And also, just an extra tip, research the company. Like, especially if you are going to a facility or going into a position that is like insurance based, which is more of a business professional, you might want to do some research on that place. Maybe get on some job boards to see the style of interview that they have, because sometimes those positions, or when you're more of a like going to a private sector type of position, their interviews are a little bit different and their questions are different. So you want to make sure that you're fully prepared to answer those questions and that you don't bomb out, because I've had to do an interview like that for in a more business private sector, and I would have bombed if I was not prepped by somebody. Somebody prepped me and to let me know what type of questions that I would be getting, and I was able to speak to that and understand the style of interviewing that this particular company was doing, and I did get the job, but I had prep. So with that being said, I hope this 3-part series was helpful. Let me know in the comment box if it was helpful and you enjoy series like this. Most importantly, I want you to know that I love you, but Jesus, he loves you so much more. God bless you.